down the hammer and pick up the pencil. You're about to listen to the Savvy Radio Show. Learn from real-life real estate investors, experience revealed with the Savvy Landlord as your host.
What's going on, Savvy Investors? This is your friend, Bang Bang. I keep saying the same thing. Steve VanCauwenbergh, the Savvy Landlord, a.k.a. Savvy Podcast, Savvy Radio Show. Man, I'm glad that you tuned in, and we're on the personal development tip. I don't know why I write these, but every time I come up with something that inspires me or I'm learning, which is seems like everything is a learning lesson in my life, I jot it down. And then this time I got the 10. And these are just quick things that have really just kind of spoke to me in some way or another. And I hope that one of these out of this 10, 11, 12, there's a couple of bonuses on here that will inspire you, get you to do something, maybe something that you've been putting on the shelf for a long time. Maybe it's just you got to get your stuff together. I don't know what it is. I write these things down, and I don't even know if anybody even, it ministers to you, I guess, or impacts you, excuse me, inspires you, right? That's what this is about. You tuned in, and I'm glad that you're here. So let's break these off. This is what I'm learning right now. This is where I'm at in my own personal life. Number one, the Google Photos. Yes, Chromecast. You got to connect it to. This is what happened. I literally just turned the TV on. I got Chromecast, and automatically you could set it up. It's, a little tech wizard here. You got to kind of connect it to your phone, connect to Google Photos, and Google Photos, you got to connect to your Chromecast, all right? A lot of my friends, you probably already know this. You're like, okay, man, VanCauwenbergh, you ain't teaching me nothing new. I hear you. But what I tell you is that leave the TV on, and I have all these photos for 10 years. I mean, I've been married for 15 years, so basically every photo of my wife and I and my kids, and it goes back, and I could just see my kids sitting there watching themselves 10 years ago, 5 years ago, where they came from. I'm telling you, this is something, I'm not trying to get you to buy something. You can buy a Google Chromecast, slap it on your TV in a HDMI. It's easy breezy to set it up. And if you have Google Photos, which you should even on an iPhone, it will sync there, and it automatically populates. It tells the date. And it's just watching my kids see themselves and inspires me of all the things that we have done together as a family. Even there's some photos up there that remind me of some of the things that I have overcome that maybe have held me back, maybe my weight, maybe my fear, maybe my doubt. But the joy of watching these photos, I just need a reminder of how blessed I am. Just the experiences that I went through, the special moments, the impact. And I think the goal is why I wrote this down, and I don't even know why. Maybe you're the first one that needs to hear this. But never forget where you came from. Never forget your family, your history, and where you're going. I think it's just an amazing thing. My wife and I, we can sit there for 30, 40 minutes and see. Man, I guess, it's like every 5 seconds, so a couple hundred photos, maybe more, and just never forget how far you've come and just the memories that you're making with your family and your wife or your kids or whatever the case may be. But Google Photos, I know I'm a Google fan, but get Chromecast. It's less than $50. Get it done. All right, number 2, depression, overcoming it. It's painful, and, there's a balance. And I actually just overcame kind of some just random depression I was in. I was just overcome. And I'm just trying to figure out, how do I do it? And how do I stop myself from being overwhelmed? And so, again, this is a recurring subject in our podcast, and I apologize that I keep bringing it up because I'm trying to crush it. I know a lot of great people, high achievers, deal with it. And I'm like, what really works? Do you journal? Is there an audio, the goals? And I figured this out. I go, man, you need little tiny victories. And I was actually talking to a superstar investor that, I didn't really realize this, but you get these little endorphins or dopamine or whatever it is, like when people are addicted to like casinos, right? Or you're addicted to shopping. Like she mentioned that, she went to a thrift store, try to find something, and there's this little dopamine. Because, we were talking about life and, the season that I'm in, Steve VanCauwenbergh, with my kids and, the next level, what is that? What should I be doing my time? And, it's a battle. What should I be doing? And, we as real estate investors or investors in general or business people, entrepreneurs, we get excited. It's that dopamine or to start a new business. I do, man. I'm telling you that's like my love language. You got a new business. I get excited. Well, I realized through that process, it would help me overcome depression. And then I wrote it down. I was like, need little tiny victories. And I got overwhelmed last couple of weeks, just a lot going on, a lot of drama. And my desk was in disarray. And then I just organized, and I've talked about this before, a victory. And then what motivates me? And just the small little steps, like what can I do right now? I can write a paragraph. And so like I'm on this private money book I'm writing, and it's just a labor of love and pain. And then I can write the back cover. I can do that right now. A little victory. I know this sounds elementary to you. It could be just to write a cover letter or an email that you can write to a bank to research or, get a response like, hey, this is blank and I'm a real estate investor. I was referred by you by blank and let's connect. Maybe just a cover letter, a small victory. Okay, organize your notes on your phone. I noticed that I've been doing that lately. I got so much unorganization, just cleaning that up. Victory. Another victory could be just ask a friend a question. Ask for an idea. It could be one small turning point that can release your depression. It's interesting, man. Even the most successful people on the planet that are worth, $100 million. I'm fortunate to get to know some of these people. They struggle just like you. They struggle just like me. They deal with highs. They deal with lows. The key factor is, how do you handle it? How do you overcome? Sometimes I thought I had it licked. I would be reading a book and I just get motivated. Or right now, Zig Ziglar is whipping my tail. He just came out with the organization of Zig Ziglar Foundation just came out with the Richer Life System. It's on Audible. Man, it's fire. It is fire. It's called the Rich Life System. Zig Ziglar, Audible. It's fire. It is whipping me in the shape, about just every area of my life, from God to marriage, to my children, to my health, to sales. I mean, it's off the chain. But that is motivating me right now. It's got me out of this. And right now I'm on a great season, and then I'll hit a low. And sometimes I'll even just buy books and it doesn't work. You got to figure out what works for you. For right now, what works for me, and I hope this inspires you, is small, tiny victories could help you overcome. Number 3, small, quick bites bring power. Write out manageable tasks that you can get going. Like, for example, I hit a roadblock on my podcast, right? I'm trying to be consistent. I'm consistent. I have too many podcasts. So how many should I do? 2 a week now? Or do I wait and let them go every Sunday is when I'm dropping them right now? I'm not trying to say anything. But then I got like 6 in the queue, and then I think they're old material and I want to write a new one like this one. But what's the point here is what small quick bites I can do right now. So what I did was I sent out a quick email, got me snapped out of stuff, and it brought me power. I just sent an email, hey, you want to do an interview? Came right back. Maybe I just write a guest cover letter. I said that earlier just a minute ago. Research a topic. Write out a list of people you can connect with, or so that's it. That was my quick bite. Okay, who's the 6 people I want to go interview for the podcast? And I write down those 6 names, and it motivated me. What's a small, quick thing you can do, or small, quick bite? Number 3, small, quick bite of power that it's like a jolt that you can get inside of you so you can perform. Number 4, when you get out, knowing your capacity and how hard you want to move forward. What will that take away, and what's your why? All right, so you got to know your level of capacity. I notice that what gets me into funks is I just take on too much. Like I just do it too much, taking too many yeses and not saying no's. And you got to realize, you got to slow down. And my friend of mine just taught me this thing that you got to pause. Before you respond to somebody, pause. If someone says something to you, pause. If you want to reply back on a text message, pause. Take an extra breath and pause, okay? And then ask this question when you're pausing: what will this take? What will this take away from me? What's my why? Knowing when to get out. That's number 4 is what we're talking about. What will it do for me? Follow you. Who do I follow, and who and why? And what's your dreams and goals? So what you own, land somewhere, whoopee woo. Does it really help you? And is there someone that you can sell it to? Who? And then I wrote down the who book. Anyway, so the reality is, I realized just recently I'm not a developer. I wanted to be in it, and I think I can be. I think anybody can do anything you want to do. But you have to ask yourself, are you willing to put in the time? A total new educational process? And honestly, I don't have that kind of time right now. So I have to tell myself, get out and don't be a developer. When do you get out? Tell yourself. Another good book when I was struggling with this is Seth Godin. It's called The Dip. You can get it on Audible it's only an hour, or you can buy this little hardback book. Great book. Sometimes you just know when to quit. Sometimes it's know when to continue on. Number 5, laughter works. I mean, this is just common sense. I know, personal development. Yeah, VanCauwenbergh. But listen, I saw this work in my own little world. I was fortunate to take my daughter to a volleyball tournament. Usually my wife does that. I can't remember why I got swapped out. And driving, it's quality time with my daughter, who's 12, turning 13 this month. And I was like, this is a great opportunity. And being a middle school teenager, I didn't know how much drama was in all this jazz. Everybody talks about it, and I blow it off because I'm like, how hard is it? And it's just the nuances of just being socially accepted. And just a little insight into the VanCauwenbergh world, we're fortunate enough that my daughter's never been on social media. Now, that's great, and it sounds like, wow, you're great parents, VanCauwenbergh. You could say that, but it's a detriment because all of her peers for my daughter are on social media, and they're a little bit more, I wouldn't say mature, advanced. And it causes a rift. It causes just all kinds of weird, silly expectations that you don't know that, and that for a high I person, it translates to ignorance, and it's just snowballs. But I realized I drove down with my daughter to Tulsa, and I was hanging around with seven other volleyball players. Okay. Now, I don't know if parents do this, but I don't care what parents think. I got in the middle of these gals. They were playing cards, and I started to make them laugh. And they had all these little girl 13-year-olds laughing. And I'm telling you, it changed the dynamic. All of a sudden, they were all friends. Now, before that, it was cliquish. These 3 girls hang out with these 3 girls. These 4 girls hang out with these 4 girls. And then there's this one girl and then this other girl. And it's like, it's this weird dynamic. But when they started laughing, all of a sudden, I became this rock star. Like, my daughter's, Kennedy's dad is bomb. And then it boiled down to, like, we were playing cards. We were actually playing spoons, which led into who won. And then they attacked me. And then I was like, okay, the winner of spoons, I'll buy you something at the the food thing at the hotel, whatever that little kiosk is. And then they all bum rushed me and they all got candy. And it was just a great experience. I know I'm like this, like you're probably thinking this happens all the time in your family, but just I wrote this down, and you need to laugh. You need to laugh at yourself. You might need to go watch Rush Hour, the movie, or Friday, or get with your homies, or your ladies need to go out to a comedy bar or whatever. But we need to have more laughter in our life, right? The next RIA group, maybe we should have a comedian. And I think laughter is healing, and I could see it worked beautifully with these awkward 13-year-old girls, 8 girls from different walks of life, all came on a common ground, and you would think it was volleyball. It wasn't. It was laughter. So you got to laugh. Start laughing. All right. I heard this or read this in a book just recently. As an entrepreneur, this one's for you, and I deal with this and the businesses that I own. You get desperate. And, the quickest thing to do, like a Walmart, you drop the price, more volume. And I was studying a sales book the other day, and this is number 6. Don't drop the price, raise the experience. And that's how you can be competitive. And I was like, even in the savvy coaching world, I just noticed, I'm fortunate to be a part of people's life, that people are willing to pay me to walk them through the Mick and Meyer. But there's some coaches in my market. There's coaches around the world. And how do I differentiate? I don't want to be cheaper. Actually, I want to be more, because time's so valuable. I'm trading time for money. But I'm like, I ask myself, what better experience can I give my clients? And if you have an accounting firm, what better experience? Or are you an attorney? Or you're a real estate or a realtor? What experience can you give a seller that can be a cut above somebody else? Or how about the tenant? And this brings me to Mr. Landlord. If you go to MrLandlord.com, if you haven't been to the Landlord convention, it's off the chain. But I've learned so much from Jeffrey Taylor, and he would elevate the new tenant's experience. And I was like, he would have a welcome basket. Again, I don't know where you're at with your rentals, and majority of my stuff was low income for a long period of time. And I need to write this down right now when I put this podcast down. I need to level up my tenant experience. I know I leveled up with customer service on maintenance requests. Man, we leveled that up. We have the fastest software, fastest handyman on the planet. But when they walk into a new rental, can I level up that experience? And Mr. Landlord has a welcome basket. So that may be something that you need to hear today. Don't lower your price. Level up your experience. Number 7, it works. What's the thing you have to do to push yourself? And so I had to push myself and to stay focused. And I realized that accountability works. I know this is so childish in your world, but I think I get so blinded by being so deep into it. But when I started scheduling with somebody else, this has to be done on this day, it works. What's the one thing that you can do for yourself that will work? So what I'm trying to say is I just messed that one up. So number 7 is, it says, every day, write one thing. What's one thing I can do towards that project? And I have a reminder on my phone. So scratch what I just said about number 7 and let's start over. This is what it is. Number 7 is I have a thing on my phone that pops up and it says, what's one thing that you can do right now that will move you forward on your book that you're writing called Private Money? I can, like I said earlier, I can write the back cover that move me forward. What's the one thing that you can do? And it's personal accountability on my phone. Maybe make an appointment with somebody like I was saying. All right, number 8. I know that was whack, but here we go. Celebrate your wins. And listen, I struggle. I'm a grinder. I'm a blue-collar dude crushing it every day. And consistency works, period. People are like, how'd you do it? Every day. Like, I'm serious. Every day. I know another real estate investor I hung out with the other day, That dude is every day. And I realize that I'm not celebrating my wins because I'm so busy grinding it out. I'm not celebrating. And I'm trying to, for 2022, trying to celebrate every little win I can. W-I-N, win, not wing, win. Man, if you made it this far, I'll give you kudos. But my commercial building I'm in, it's 3 stories. It's 11,000 square foot super monster. I've officially never rented it out 100%. But March 1st, someone moved in, and guess what we did? We celebrated that victory, and we went and had lunch. Now, CEO hanging around, property management, I know. If I was coaching you, I'm like, you got better. Listen, I just have to have faith. I have to celebrate this win, and then I got to celebrate the people that have helped me win. And, it's not the most productive time because I'm paying these people to sit there to have lunch with me. And what subjects are we going to talk about? But what does it translate to them? Victory. And so maybe it would motivate them. And you should never forget where you come from. And it's been 4 or 5 years I've owned that building, and this is the first time I have 100% occupied. Celebrate your wins. And honestly, for 2022, March, I'm 100% occupied all the way around, except for my couple of rehabs I got rolling. So, celebrate your victory. What could it be? Maybe a couple pounds. Don't celebrate with food. Maybe it's you started your podcast and you did it for 5 months straight, or a month consistently, or you were in the gym for a certain length of time. Whatever it is, celebrate your wins. Make it memorable. Have morality with your staff. And I'm telling you, and also do it with your partner. I try to hook up with my partner. Hey, and let's celebrate our wins. And she replied back, yes. Now, we haven't done it yet, and maybe we should have a cocktail. Maybe it's just a cocktail. Maybe it's just something a happy hour. But just do it memorably. Celebrate your wins. All right, number 9, consistency over impatientness. Ooh, I don't know where I got that, but I'm a very impatient person. I don't know, if you hang around me long enough, I'm kind of impatient, and I'm willing to pay for it. But I realize true patience is what I'm striving for. Like my homie told me the other day, pause before you speak, respond. Think about it, all right? But consistency. If you're impatient, just be consistent. You want to get that 10% body fat? Be consistent. And I just read the other day, it's like even when you don't want to, just show up, and it may be a crappy workout, and don't beat yourself up. The minimum is good enough in consistency. Come on. Someone else needs to hear me. Can I get an amen? The minimum is good enough in the level of consistency to overcome your impatience. And here's a tidbit for you. Trust patience. Trust it. Number 9. Number 10, power in the pencil. Power in the pencil. I don't know where I come up with this stuff. I know you're laughing at me. But listen, write out a quick plan. Outline it. Sketch it out. Draw it. There's the power in the pencil. And when you got that pencil in your hand, write someone a thank you card. Even bigger, even better. Power in the pencil, number 10. All right, now I'm moving into my last bonus section. So sometimes it's not the ability, it's the experience. Oh, man, I got this from Zig Ziglar. Look at where I came. Okay, so, I always, it's not you go to college, you got 5 degrees, and it's your experience. I always wonder, where did my motivation come from? Where does it come from? That was bad grammar, English. Because of my experience of being in suppression and being in a horrible environment, growing up in a single bedroom apartment with a single mom. It was my experience that drove me. Sometimes Can you hear me? Do I need to pause for you on this one? Sometimes you don't think you need to have ability. You could just have experience. And let me tell you something right now. So I'm talking to my partner at the accounting firm today, pretty big time. I'm like, we need to hire some more people, right? We're expanding. We need to celebrate these victories. And we're getting a lot of tax returns. And we need some more help. And it's not easy. You can hire a bookkeeper, data entry person, right? It's a pretty simple training. Like, hey, you look at this sheet of paper and you put it in the machine and let the software do the work. Man, it's not too bad, right? There's experience with bookkeeping, right? You could be fast at it like typing, but you can catch on pretty quick. Doing taxes is not an ability. It's an experience. You have to, she's trying to educate me. I'm like, why can't we hire someone? She's like, it's not that easy. And I'm like, no. Mr. VanCauwenbergh, the ignorant dude in the room, savvy. And she's like, taxes have a nuance. Yeah, 1040 is just like bookkeeping. But when you're doing corporate tax returns, real estate tax returns, K1s, blah, 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 it takes experience because there's all these nuances. And it just hit me. It's not the ability. Your ability could be that you can do it, but you might need experience. Experience trumps ability. So if you're experienced in labor or construction, it may help your ability in the real estate world. There's your glimmer of hope. Okay? I just learned that. So flip-flop it on you. You may have the ability to be educated and know everything about the terms of real estate. Sometimes it takes experience. But if you've been experienced in real estate for a long time, it will help your ability, let's say commercial real estate. Bang, bang. Here's one right here. This is my final one. Stop squandering time. And I heard this, I think it was Zig Ziglar, even idle time. I think that I'm being productive by relaxing, looking at Facebook. That's a no. That's boo-boo. I'm squandering my time. And honestly, it's been awesome. I'm on there. I may seem like I'm on there a lot. I post. I don't look. It's kind of selfish in a roundabout way because I know that Facebook is an extremely powerful business tool, period. But the other day, I actually failed on Facebook and I squandered my time. I was sitting on the couch hanging out 30 minutes later, and I'm dipping in other people's lives. Don't squander that time. Anyway, this is the Savvy Landlord, and I'm glad that you made it this far. I hope that this information helped you, changed you, motivated you. You pull the car over and you're like, dang, I need to put the pencil to the paper. I need to go buy an asset. Whatever this is that's going to motivate you, I hope that you go do it. If you're learning something in the trenches, lessons that you're learning, and you want to share them, I would love to hear them. Contact me at savvyinvestors.com. Have a beautiful day and go buy assets.
Thanks for listening to the Savvy Radio Show. Glide online and listen to our other motivating episodes at savvyradioshow.com. Connect on Twitter at LandlordBook and always be buying assets.